You got it?
Yeah.
So guys, I've been and picked up an old gaming table. I don't get to do this that often. I did this about 4 years ago, you might remember it. We get a lot of questions asking how durable things are, so I thought I'd show you in person. So let's let Josh get it inside and we'll get to work on it. Look at his hand! Oh yeah, sorry. What? What I'm paying for.
Guess I'll carry it myself then.
So guys, I get a lot of questions about my board builds about durability. Long-time viewers of this channel know I built this board 3.5, coming up 4 years ago now for a company called fter. fter did a game called Mortal Gods, and this was a board that I built for that game. And they've had it, they've took it to Salute, they've took it to a load of gaming conventions around the country. It's been thrown in a van. So it's not had a box or anything or any protection built for it. It's just literally been put in a van. Where they've been keeping it has been literally propped up against a wall in a warehouse, but it's been played on at their houses. It's been to loads of shows. It's had a lot of gameplay. And I get asked all the time about durability or some of my techniques. Do the yellow, static grass, how does it hold up to play? The ground textures, how durable are they? And I thought this would be a good video to show how it's aged, and 2, is there anything we can fix? Is there a few things that have deteriorated slightly? And let's cover it. Let's have a bit of fun, because I'm so excited to have this board back, because I absolutely think this is one of the better looking boards that I've ever done. And yeah, so let's take a look at the water effects first, because I get a lot of questions whether it yellows, whether it shrinks, with it being slightly flexible. Has it peeled away or damage like that? So let's take a closer look. So guys, with the ocean, this was when I first discovered Clearfix, or MS Polymer as its generic name. Now MS Polymer is like an acrylic alternative to silicone. The best thing about acrylic is it can be painted, it sticks, whereas silicone doesn't stick to resin very well, and silicone can't be painted. This can, and that's why MS Polymer is good, and I got to do the waves and everything else. A few questions I got is it gonna yellow over time? Which is like the number one question that everybody asks. The answer to that is no, it's not yellowed. The only thing that I can see that's an actual issue with this is because it's quite a rubbery texture, it's clung to, a lot of dust has clung to it. And like, it's caked in dog hairs. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna clean that off. And then what we'll do then is we'll put some more like gloss varnish on it, which should firm it up. And it should keep any of this dust or hairs or just general gameplay debris from sort of sticking to it. It's not actually stuck to it, it's just the friction of the rubber is causing it to be hard to remove. So let's get that off, and let's show you what it looks like with a layer of varnish on the top. So static grass, guys, I get a lot of people going, yeah, it looks great at first, but it gets trampled on, it gets flattened, models don't stand up on it great, it looks a mess after a few games. And I think in the video, if I went back and watched it, I think I said I prefer foam flock for wargaming. However, I prefer the look of static grass because it looks more natural, but with gameplay, it will get damaged. However, I'm actually quite shocked. These are a few flatter areas, and I mean, what you can do to save this is you could scorch the grass off with a Bunsen burner and just reapply it. However, looking at it, I'm pretty happy with that. I might run the hoover over it to pick up some bits that are broken or some bits that have flattened out, but other than that, so that's coming up 4 years of play, it doesn't look bad at all. So to all them people that are worried about using static grass, as long as you use matte Scenic sealant over it at the end once you finish your static grass and it's dried properly, it's proper robust. And some of these lengths of grasses in areas about, what, 8 mil in areas? It's pretty impressive. So people used to go on about using plaster rocks. These are the Woodland Scenics rock molds that have been cast and then painted and stuck on here. People always comment saying it chips easily and everything else. However, the only chipping that I can see is on the 2 rocks actually in the field, probably where people have bashed it, or maybe even that's where they were putting the trees on and there's big magnets underneath and they've caught it like that. But it's nothing that can't be fixed, and to say there's only 2 chips on this entire board, that's crazy. And all I did with this is I actually put a big thick varnish over the stones when I'd finished it, and then obviously when I matte Scenic sealed it as well, that extra varnish going on top, and then they've dried and the paint's on there. And that's the best thing with the leopard spot technique. When you're leopard spotting, it soaks into the stone. So some of the chips are not even that bright. So it has held up far better than I thought it even could, which is, it's nice to see. And the only bit of substantial damage that we've had is a cake pillar that's been knocked off. And the only reason that that's broke off looking at this is because I super glued it down to something that was uneven. So a quick sand and a bit of super glue, it's fixed. And I don't think it'll look any different from the day that I made it, which is awesome. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is the trees, okay? These trees, I made them with sagebrush and seafoam. Now this was before I'd used, before I started dipping my seafoam in latex and things like that, which if you've not seen that video, I'll put links to it above. However, they are a bit tatty in areas, but I'm quite shocked to say this is what I'd call as brittle and as soft as they possibly could be. To say they've been literally kept in a cardboard box and thrown about, they're not that bad looking, and it wouldn't take much to save these. So if I dipped them in took this old seafoam off, dipped them in latex and put some foam on it, I'm so shocked at how well these have kept up. So guys, I hope this video's helped you, because it's definitely helped me seeing something that I built 4 years ago nearly, and being able to see that the techniques that I was doing back then have held up as well as they have done. And if you're one of them people that didn't believe in the clay fix, if you're one of them people that didn't like using static grass, I hope this sort of reassures you if you have got any projects ahead where you're wanting to use these techniques, because I'm shocked by some of it. The trees, you know, now I know about the latex dipping and everything else, I know I can make them better, but I am shocked at how well they've held up, even though they are literally just seafoam attached to twigs. They're pretty impressive. But anyway, guys, if you've got any questions, do pop them in the links below. If you've got any questions about any techniques that I use, I will answer them the best I can in the comments below. But I've enjoyed this video. It's been nice to actually get a board back, because I feel that this board was the start of Geekgaming Scenics. Even though it was a few years into Luke's APS, this was the board that sort of set everything off. This was the one where I felt I had a system. We had a product range that actually could be a thing. And it's nice to have this board back. It's kind of nostalgic, and this board's going to stay with me now, as in it's like the icon for me. It's the best. Even though it's not my first board, I feel this is the board that sort of set us up for what we're doing now. Me, Daryl and Wayne built this board, and we've built a lot of boards since that, but this one holds a place in my heart because it's just got everything on it that I enjoy doing, from water effects, ruins, trees, static. It's got the works. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And if you want to buy any of the Scenics that have been used on this board 3.5 years ago, they're all at Geekgaming Scenics below, and they're a lot more improved and are better than this now. But even still, it's just nice to have it back in it. But thanks for your support, guys, and I'll see you again for the next video. Love, love, love.